we are back here at Albany Saratoga with Matt. We're here 3 o'clock. Well, not even 3 o'clock. Waiting for it to open, but there's no traffic, so maybe I'll do another update for the night. If not, it's gonna be the same as last week.
Race number 2 ready to make its way up onto the raceway. 7 more cars slated to go, starting up on the inside front row. It's going to be Rich Ronka out of Ballston Lake with the number 1 car. He's got Andrew Buff out of Latham with the 92, flanking him in that front row. Back in row number 2, the 87 of Neil Stratton. He's out of North Bennington, Vermont. He goes inside row 2. Outside of him, the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. He's out of Scottycoke. Matt DiLorenzo back in the house in the 3D car after a week off last week. He starts inside row 3. Mike Mahaney and Super Matt Sheppard here in the Petruska 66. Once again, his second outing. He got no start. A no-go. Going to get them all back in even rows of 2, with the exception of Matt Sheppard, who will be all alone back there in row 4. Sheppard was here with the back, started deep in the field and came up to a top 3 finish in that Petruska number 66 car. Keep an eye on Super Matt here in the qualifier. Matt DiLorenzo, the 3D car. With Mike Mahaney and Andrew Buff. Down the back straightaway they go. It's going to be Andrew Buff showing away. Good three-way back. He pushes up to the outside at turn number 4. That's going to allow the 3D and Matt DiLorenzo to take full control of that 4th position. Super Matt going to dive down to the inside. He's going to go right back out to the outside. Cutting Motorsports number 35 car. Our defending champion here in the big block modified division. That yellow light's coming out on the raceway. Car turned around over there in turn number 2. That is the second generation driver out of North Bennington, Vermont. Neil Stratton in the Big Boys Toys sponsored 87 car. Neil going to wait for the field to pass him over there in turn number 2. Going to hold the field under white for a lap, timing and scoring, getting them back, making sure they're back in the proper restarting order. It is leader's option, as you see. Andrew Buff opting to take the outside restarting position. So leader's option, inside or outside. Buff has chosen the outside. It's going to put Jeremy Pitts in the next generation roofing 27 down to the inside of the front row. Spot number 3 to car number 3. It's a 3D of Matty D. Matt DiLorenzo, the 1 of Rich Ronka outside of him. And it is Super Matt Sheppard, and Mike Mahaney on Snowshoe back there in row number 3. Looking at them all is Neil Stratton, the driver who brought the caution out, as we go back to green flag back down. Three-way battle back there for 5th spot. Right now, Rich Ronka's got it. Neil Stratton both get by him at the entrance to turn 3. Now, Matt Lorenzo changing his lane up to the outside. Right along with him comes Superman. Matt Sheppard will hang on Mike Mahaney. Headed sideways up there between turn 3 and 4. Back aboard the 35 car. He drifted back to fifth spot. Here's Sheppard. He's going to widen his line up here off of turn number 4. 6 laps in. Matt Sheppard taking outside, working the outside now of the 27 of Jeremy Gibbs. Sheppard going to complete the pass down in turn 3. As your leader comes down here across the line. Up on the front, you've got a great battle, is what you got. Looked like Andrew Buff was going to pull away, but then Matt Lorenzo came right back up and pulled even with him. Buff still hanging on to the number 1 spot at the line. Short his way around the great race place, right down on the bottom. Here comes Di Lorenzo back to the bottom again. Turn number 3 and 4 as they come to the white flag. Matt Sheppard looking to make it a 3-car race up on the front. Superman trying to reel in the lead duo here in the final go-round. It's going to be Andrew Buff showing the way off turn number 4. Will he hang on to it? Looks like he will. Di Lorenzo going to have to settle for second. Sheppard will come across the line in third.
Okay, so you can hear me. We started 7th in the heat, finished 3rd. We are starting 14th in the feature, and we're about to go now.
Here's your starting grid for your 35 lap. Next Generation Roofing Modified Feature event starting on the inside front row. The 2-time champion out of Clifton Park. That's the 7 of Don Ronca. Outside of him going to be the 92B. Heat race winner earlier tonight. That's Andrew Buff out of Latham. Then we got Dylan Grogan, the modified rookie out of Raymertown with a 34. And Jack Spieshak from right here in Malta with a 08 car. Ronnie Johnson, the 3rd generation driver out of Duanesburg in the 2RJ. And Jeremy Pitts in the Next Generation Roofing 27, go side by side in row 3. Peter Britton, that's Batman from Queensland, Australia. He'll go from the inside of row number 4 with the 21A. Right alongside of him in the 21C, that's Brian Calabrese from Johnstown. Your point leader, Matt DiLorenzo in the 3D, and the 14B of Brendan Dara go side by side in row 5. Row 6, runner-up in points coming into tonight, the 35 of Mike Mahaney out of Elizabethtown. And the 2L, one of our heat race winners, that's Jack Lehner. The Ginger Ninja will go from the outside of row 6. Last week's feature event winner, trying to make it 3 in a row. He'll have to come from 13th starting spot. That's Justin Stone, the 3rd generation driver out of Middlebury, Vermont with a 15X. Next to him, the 2-time champion, the 3J of Mark Johnson. That's row 7. Row 8, it's Super Matt in the 66. Matt Sheppard invading here tonight. Outlaw not running this evening. They ran last night. So aboard the Petruska number 66, the Atlas Paving sponsored entry. Matt Sheppard going to come from the inside of row number 6 with the 88. Outside of him, the 667. That's Matt Depew. The 87 of Neil Stratton, the 23D of Tommy D'Angelo going to be side by side back there in row 9. Row 10, it'll be the 44 of Brandon Daly and the number 1 of Rich Ronca. The 11X of Josh Masterson slated to go from the inside of row 11 alongside of C.G. Morey with the Crash Palace number 14 car. Keep an eye on Super Matt back there as well. He was here a few weeks ago, came from 14th to finish 3rd in that Atlas Paving car. As we get ready to go, green off of turn number 4. It'll be Don Ronca and Andrew Buff on row number 1. Ready to bring him to green. The green flag flies, and we are underway here with our Next Generation Roofing Modified Feature event. Off turn 2, down the back straightaway. Andrew Buff nosing out ahead of Don Ronca here on the initial go-round. They make their way down here through turn 3 and 4, up here off the corner. Making their way down to put lap number 1 on the board. Scores for Andrew Buff in the 92. Buff here later. Ronca rides second. Third spot going to be Ronnie Johnson. RJ rides there in third with the 2 RJ. Things tighten up a little up on the front here. See the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. He rides in the top 5 right now. The Next Generation Roofing sponsored entry. He rides 5th, just behind the Tommy Jackson Excavating 21A up Peter Britton. Britton looking down to the inside of Ronnie Johnson. He's going to make their way down here to turn number 1. Johnson up on the high side. Britton going to get a good run off the bottom that time as they race down the back straightaway to turn number 3. Britton trying to make the advance, but RJ going to hold him at bay. Ronnie Johnson riding in third, Peter Britton in fourth. This spot is Jeremy Pitts, but that may be short-lived as now our point leader, Matt Lorenzo, knocking on the door of a top 5 run here in the early going. 5 laps in, and he sits there in 6th spot after starting back in 9th. Lorenzo with the BBL Company's car. 1 spot out of a top 5 run. Has to make their way down here into turn number 1. Di Lorenzo looking down to the inside. He had Peter Britton blocking the low line. The 27 of Pitts on the high line. Here's Britton off the inside of the corner. Now enter the battle. Here comes Mike Mahaney. Mahaney, the second driver out of Kings Ferry, New York, now calls Elizabethtown home in the Huddock Motorsports entry. Came into tonight's battle second in points. Trying to pull up on Matty G. Just got by Di Lorenzo in a running position. They're going to be together on the racing surface now as they race side by side back there for the 6th spot. Off the corner they come. Matt Di Lorenzo down in the inside lane. Don Ronca to his right. Here comes Mahaney looking down to the inside of him. Mike Mahaney knows if he keeps Matt Di Lorenzo in sight, that has got point implications. Of course, both of them want to go to victory lane. Ronnie Johnson wants to go to victory lane. He's going to mount a challenge now on the 92 of Andrew Buff. Buff up on the high side. Shortest way around the inside for Ronnie Johnson. RJ blocking it right down on the bottom. The Mickles Automotive, Persons Farms, 2 RJ of Ronnie Johnson is now gone to the point. Ronnie Johnson taking over the number 1 spot, dealing Andrew Buff back to second. Now your third place automobiles, the 21A of Peter Britton. Britton rides third. The battle for 4th shaping up. Right now it belongs to Jeremy Pitts, but here comes Matty D down to the inside of him. Di Lorenzo taking a peek down to the inside, trying to get a run here on the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. That would be a race for the 4th position as they work up off of turn number 2. Down into turn number 3, they work their way through the corner. There you're looking at a battle. Mike Mahaney now feeling pressure from Mark Johnson. A couple of 2-time champions going at it for position. Mark Johnson letting his presence be felt now as he starts to work his way up into the top position. Mark Johnson started all the way back in 14th starting position. Mahaney started just ahead of him in the 11th spot, but they made their way up inside the top 10 now, trying to challenge for a top 5 run. Here's Mahaney off the corner, trying to run down your 5th place car, Jeremy Pitts. Mahaney got a good corner that time down here in turn number 1. Take it away. Pitts right up on the high side of the raceway as they go down here to turn number 3. Good battle back there for the 5th spot. Pitts has still got it. But Mahaney is going to make life miserable for him coming off the corner. Mahaney right down on the inside portion of the racetrack. Trying to take the shortest way around the track right on the inside. We'll get back into the gas a little bit easier on the inside. Down here into turn number 1. Back into the power earlier off of turn number 2. And Mike Mahaney has finessed his way into a top 5 running spot. Meanwhile, Ronnie Johnson up front continues to show the way. The Aussie has now made his way into the runner-up spot. Batman shows second. 3rd spot, Andrew Buff. 4th spot, Matt DiLorenzo. Mike Mahaney rounding out your top 5. As we're now past the halfway mark. Got 20 on the board. As they work their way down here, Matt DiLorenzo trying to get by the 92 of Andrew Buff. That's for 3rd. Matty D trying to put Buff between himself and Mike Mahaney. Mahaney with the advantage of being able to see the points leader. Tommy D'Angelo up ahead of your leaders. Here are your leaders off at turn number 4. Ronnie Johnson going to go to the outside of D'Angelo. Peter Britton taking a peek down to the inside. He will use the inside lane and now get by D'Angelo and now close in on Ronnie Johnson. Ronnie Johnson and Peter Britton separated by a car length as they make their way down here to turn number 1. Coming up on the 10 to go mark as they work their way down the back straightaway. They'll come around to put 24 on the board, this time by Peter Britton, now closing in on RJ. Britton within a car length as they work their way up off of turn number 2. The 2RJ of Ronnie Johnson has not been seriously challenged since he took the top spot. But Peter Britton trying to put himself into position to do just that. We are within 10 to go now. 25 are in and 10 remain. Ronnie Johnson, Peter Britton, top 2. Getting by Josh Petruska, 11X car. The number 3 spot to the number 3 car. That's Matt DiLorenzo. He rides 3rd. Mike Mahaney in 4th. Andrew Buff back there in spot number 5. 7 spot to 27 of Jeremy Pitts. Behind Pitts, looks like 14 of Brendan Guerra. In a 9 spot, Justin Stone. And rounding out your top 10, that's Matt Sheppard with the 66. He right now shows as your 10th place car. Here's Peter Britton making a move on Ronnie Johnson. Looking down to the inside. RJ got a good look at him down low. Now off the corner, Peter Britton gonna nose ahead. Here's We Will Come to 5 to go next time by. Peter Britton with a late race charge. Gets by Ronnie Johnson. Britton with the Faxon Excavating. Sponsored automobile, the Agway of Boston Spa. Sponsored entry. Working his way down here. Up on the front, Britton showing the way down here. Down the back straightaway. Britton over Ronnie Johnson, Matt DiLorenzo, Mike and Andrew Buff. Here inside of 5 to go. Here's Mike Mahaney trying to make point implications. Trying to get by the 3D of Matty D. Britton has separated himself from Ronnie Johnson. Peter Britton looks like he is going to be heading for victory lane. He is pulled away from Ronnie Johnson by almost a half a straightaway. 2 to go sign at the line as they come down. Britton, a 2-time winner on the year. Looking to be our first 3-time winner. Ronnie Johnson back there in the runner-up spot. As we now see Peter Britton rolling down here through the corner. White flag going to be shown this time by. One more time around the Great Race Place for the Tommy Faxon Excavation sponsored 21A of Peter Britton, backed by Agway of Ballston Spa. Checkered flag is gonna fly. Batman is gonna land in victory lane. Ronnie Johnson gonna come home second with the 2RJ. Matthew Lorenzo will finish third with the 3G. Mike Mahaney will come home in spot number 4 with the 35, and Andrew Buff will round out your top 5. So Peter Britton will